I had to end my toxic relationship with my autistic boyfriend after he started manipulating and controlling my life. This is mostly event post. Me and my new boyfriend are both autistic and have started seeing each other about 4 months ago. Both of us have never been in a relationship before. He has started to give me the creeps lately. He found a picture of me on social media from when I used to be goth and has been pressuring me constantly to dye my hair blue again like in the picture. He screenshot all my pictures and showed me he did that, yet won't follow me on any social media yet stalks, keeps tabs on me. He also wants me to get tattoos and dress like that again. He got me to bring all my old goth clothes to his apartment and they're in different places every time I come over, which tells me he's obviously doing something with them. He snoops through my stuff in general. He shows me offensive over-sexualized pictures of tattooed alternative women e-girls and OnlyFans creators with tattoos in public asking me what I think of their look and if I'd change myself to look like them. He has some kinks and religious trauma which I'm non-judgmental towards, but he is always trying to do BDSM and butt stuff with me, and thinks I'd be into that because I used to be goth. He gets me to show him my old goth pictures and has tried to trick me into syncing my Google Photos onto his computer so he can access my pictures. I would never give him any pictures because I already caught him taking pictures of me without my consent and sending them to multiple people, his family and friends. He also tries to track my location and internet usage and get money from me, but never directly talks to me about anything, yet he is always trying to trick me. He used to love to bomb me but now treats me like garbage. He's narcissistic, entitled and overall disrespectful. I've told him that I don't want tattoos and won't dye my hair and that goth is a music subculture not a kink, and he never listens. He shakes my body, my finances, my clothes, where I live, the list goes on. He doesn't listen to me in general and I feel like an object. He never wants to do any fun activities with me and I'm always compromising for him. He's very straight-laced and wants to go to places like goth clubs and nude beaches just to stare at women. Lately he has been trying to control and shame me for what I eat and also body shamed me for being fat and hairy. I am 5'8", 120 pounds, I am on the skinny side. He wants me to body but also not eat anything? It doesn't make sense. He points out other women exercising and takes a little dig at me. He wants me to spend thousands of dollars on my appearance, yet he has terrible hygiene and won't even comb his hair and brush his teeth for me. He likes parading me around like a show pony while he looks practically homeless. It's humiliating. He is classist and calls me poor for being upper middle class and inflates how wealthy he and his family are, yet never pays. His brother shamed me when I met him. Made me feel awful. We have problems in our sex life as well. He has a hard time ejaculating and checks out other women all the time. He acts 12. He is 27. I feel controlled, devalued, criticized, unheard, and taken for granted. He is full of shame and I can't get him to have an adult conversation about any of these issues. I tried to end it twice and he started sobbing and telling me how much he needs me, loves me, cares about me, thinks I'm brilliant, etc. Practically begging me to stay. I feel used and manipulated. He's an awful, reprehensible person. Update. I wanted to thank everyone who read my story and commented. Thank you for all of your kind and supportive words. I went ahead and left him. So I went to his apartment yesterday and told him in the most adult, respectful way I could possibly manage that I cannot be in a relationship with him. I told him I wasn't being respected and that he was crossing my boundaries, that he was trying to change me, pick on me, and was generally cruel to me. I pretty much told him everything he was doing wrong except for the control/tracking/exploitation stuff because I didn't want to get into that for the sake of my safety, and by the end of our 2.5-hour conversation I was heading into shutdown territory, so I had to leave. I'm pretty sure he filmed the interaction. He has a camera in his room and I thought I saw it turn on. Really nothing to see other than me gently informing him I will not tolerate such disrespect, and that I thought he was trying to change me and didn't desire me, etc. He denied all negative allegations and cried the entire time and was trying to guilt me into staying, as expected. Of course he still thought I was useful to him. To his credit he didn't get angry. I am still concerned for my safety and privacy. I am worried he will dox me or commit some kind of cyber crime. Highly unlikely as he works for the government and his father, whom he is afraid of, controls him, pays his rent. Additionally, worth noting, his family name is already stained with sociopathy and there are mainstream news articles covering the crime. So it is highly unlikely he will do anything to me if he wants to get anywhere in life. Especially because he wants to seek further education and advance his career. When I broke up with him, I could see clearly that he has severe communication deficits. I believe this is caused by a combination of the double empathy problem, distractibility and focus issues from ADHD, as well as strong narcissistic traits. I don't think he understood half of what I was saying and the impact of his actions. He apologized profusely and told me he wanted to work on our issues together and that he doesn't want to break up. He then performed a bunch of future fakes and false promises to sell me on staying. I refused. I told him I crossed a line and that there is no going back, especially after body shaming. I explained to him that by body shaming someone, it will make them self-conscious and uncomfortable and therefore not want to have sex with someone. That got his attention, lol. I suspect he had a porn addiction, that he consumed a lot of goth porn, alternative girl porn, and got the wrong idea about me because I fall into some porn stereotypes targeting nerdy men. Think Belle Delphine type stuff. I like Japanese culture and used to be very goth. Maybe he thought I was one of those porn content creators who had a target audience of lonely nerdy men. He was also obsessed with the idea of me playing video games and was always trying to get me to start playing them. I know some people confuse fantasy with reality and were suspicious of that happening within our relationship. Towards the end of our time together, he was focusing solely on my image as well as his, and we no longer discussed anything intellectual as we did when we first began seeing each other. Our relationship had dissipated into something vapid and meaningless. This was not what I had signed up for. Upon further reflection, I think he really did confuse fantasy for reality and got the wrong idea about me completely, because he never listened to me when I tried to tell him what goth is about and that people have gotten the wrong in the past by assuming I was a nympho into kink due to my external appearance. Absolutely no shame in being into kink, it just is not for me right now. We were both virgins and I was not ready to go there yet. He always blocked out things he didn't want to hear or didn't align with the fantasy. It was startling how little he knew about me. He told me, "That doesn't sound like you," when I stood up for myself. He asked me, "Did you hear that somewhere?" When I told him we were having too many issues very early in the relationship and it just wasn't going to work. It's as if he didn't think I was capable of thinking for myself and had actual thoughts. Or I wasn't going to script, which is a narcissist tendency. Yet sometimes, he is respected by opinion, especially regarding topics of psychology and sociology. TBH, I thought he was some fantasy person who wanted me to solve all of his problems and fix his life. I became disenchanted when I was unable to instantly do that. He didn't know really anything about me and didn't take the time to learn about me and had some kind of fantasy version of me that existed in his head. He was more in love with the idea of having a girlfriend than me as a person. He thought the person in his head was the real me and that he was trying to help me. I do hope he seeks therapy. I wonder if he had a delusional disorder. He also had this idea that because we were both autistic, that we must think exactly the same. It doesn't work that way. We all are different colors of the spectrum, and my experience differs vastly from his due to subjective experience of life, factors like gender and upbringing, etc. etc. I feel so stupid for allowing this to go on for as long as it did. I am proud of myself for resisting the pressure he put on me to move in with him, give him money, and change my appearance, do uncomfortable sex acts, etc. It was a fairly easy exit in civil, but I still feel depressed. Mourning what could have been, perhaps. This is my first breakup, and his. So I am feeling all kinds of new and uncomfortable emotions and bodily sensations. I have alexithymia. So this is all very depressing and strange. I am happy with my decision and will not be looking back. I am fairly comfortable with being alone and will not be seeking a new relationship anytime soon, and will perhaps enter therapy to build my self-esteem. Writing out my situation and receiving feedback has allowed me to better understand a very complicated situation, and I thank all the lovely supportive people who commented on my post. Your time and kindness means so much to me. Should I delete the shared photo album me and my ex have together? My and my abusive ex have a shared photo album that we made when we went on our first trip together. It was both of our first relationships and our first time having sex together. We lost our virginities to each other. Overall, it was a lovely memory and I fell for him deeply on this trip. Unfortunately, the memory became tainted after he turned into a complete monster and shattered my heart into a million pieces. He's a very dangerous individual, high in dark triad traits, and I know it'd be foolish to keep him tied to me in any way, shape or form. For some reason, I still don't know if I should delete the album. I broke up with him 6 weeks ago and have him blocked and deleted, his fake spy accounts too, on all platforms except Google, and deleting the album and blocking him on Google would be the last thing to do in order to completely scrub him from the surface of my existence. Despite the vile person he revealed himself to be, I am sentimental and romantic and am hanging on to the positive aspects of our time together and everything I learned about myself. What should I do? OOP commented on a different post 1 month later from the post. What differences have you noticed in your body? Appearance, good or bad? OOP's comment NC for almost 3 months. I don't know if it's due to my altered perception when I was seeing him. The constant put-downs did a number on my self-image, but I am like a different person now, inside and out. My skin conditions, acne, dermatitis, have cleared up completely. My hair looks thicker and has a nice sheen to it, my face is less gaunt and has a vibrancy to it that wasn't there before. Teeth are whiter from less coffee. I could barely sleep when I was with him, so I over-caffeinated. I'm the same weight, but my fitness has improved. My chronic muscle pain and headaches went away. These people are parasites that suck the life out of their hosts. No longer a shriveled up shell of myself. There's nowhere to go but up once you leave them and go NC.